Today is Thursday, Parashat Vaetchanan. Tonight and tomorrow during the day will be the 15th of Av, the 15th day of Av. It's called Tu Beav, and it's a very joyous day. It's a day that we don't say Tachanun in the prayers. It's a day that has to do with reconnecting, and several reasons. One of the reasons that is brought by Hachamim is that every year of the 40 years that they were in the desert, 15,000 men would die on the 9th of Av. And the final year, just before they went into Eretz Israel, they had even dug their own graves to lay in it and expecting to die on the 9th of Av. They got up the next morning and they said, "Whoops, we must have made a mistake in terms of the date. Maybe Rosh Chodesh didn't start like we thought it started." Then the next night, the same thing again, and they got up the next morning. Finally, on the 15th of Av, when they saw the moon, full moon, because on the 15th of the month, the moon is full, they realized that they were forgiven and became a day of celebration. So in a way, it's compared to Yom Kippur. If on Yom Kippur, Hashem forgave us for the sin of the golden calf, then on the 15th of Av, it represents the idea of forgiveness for the sin of the Meraglim, of the spies that came back on the 9th of Av and gave a negative report about the land of Israel. So it's a kind of a day also of reconnecting, because on the 15th of Av, the tribe of Binyamin was allowed again to marry with the other tribes. Because of a certain happened that there's a certain time where the tribe of Binyamin was sort of excommunicated. Nobody would marry into that tribe. The 15th of Av, that decree was cancelled, and then because of that reconnecting amongst all the tribes and that unity coming back again into play amongst all of Am Israel, it's a day of rejoicing. There's also another reason. There was a certain time when there was a wicked king of Malchut Israel that made blockages, stopped the people from going to Yerushalayim for the regalim, shalosh regalim, for the 3 holidays, and there was a disconnect between the people outside of Yehuda and the tribe of Yehuda to come to Yehuda and Binyamin, where the Beit HaMikdash was. On the 15th of Av, those blockades that stopped people were cancelled, and therefore it was a day of rejoicing, because it's again a day of coming back together, of reuniting. According to some others, it's the days that Tu Be'av, we see the nights getting longer, there's more time to learn Torah. It's also that day is a day that it was the conclusion of the preparing of the wood for the Mizbeach, for the altar. And of course, the wood for the altar is one where the sacrifices are done, the korbanot, which is mekarev. It brings us closer to Hashem. So again, the idea of reconnecting. And in truth, when we reach the 15th of Av, we're already into the second half of the month, closer to the month of Elul, the month of Ani Ledodi Vedodili, when there is an incredible potential for reconnecting spiritually with Hashem. And that's why the 15th of Av starts. You start feeling already the idea of Selichot, the idea of coming closer to these. And this Shabbat is going to be Shabbat Nachamu. Shabbat Nachamu, the Shabbat of consolation. We're going to have 7 weeks of Haftarot that are all about reconnecting. After the difficult 3 weeks between Shvai Sevet Tammuz and Tisha B'Av, we now start Nachamu with reconnecting with Hashem. And Tu B'Av is a signal for that period. Day of rejoicing. And there was also that is known for the idea of Shidduchim, of people finding their spouse. And may all that are in need of a zivug, to find the zivug hamatim and to build the Beit Ne'eman B'Yisrael. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen. And by the way, happens to be also tonight is the Hilulah of Rabbi Amram ben Diwan, who's buried in the city of Wazan. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.